Our curriculum for apocalypse as philosophy began with the idea that when we take away the world, what persists there alongside us is a zombie figure, an alien like from the movie Alien. That's this squirmy thing that exists between life and unlife that either we stand fully against in this pure I-thinking persistence of ourself, so like the final girl standing against it, or we fall into its enjoyment and lose our sense of self. The fabric of reality falls apart. So that's the inherent core of the apocalypse in fiction and psychically. So this is what reaches beyond finitude and just the sheer possibility of life ending and whatnot. How we engage the world through apocalypse itself. But to carry forward, we have to turn to Slavoj Žižek's most difficult work, The Indivisible Remainder, and the work of Schelling that he lays out. This is where we get the groundwork for the lamella figure, this necessity of this squirmy thing that persists. Now, if you don't know me, my name's Nicholas Crawford. I'm the author of Where We've Made It Dark, which is apocalyptic literary fiction with zombies that is a blend of propulsive tension and philosophy and some horror and literary writing. So check it out. Now, the first thing we have to do is place where apocalypse actually lies. It's not this fear of the end. It's something that is structurally already happened. So in page 74, Zizek writes, the status of our spiritual or psychic universe is thus more fragile than it may appear. Nature can run amok and go off the rails. What's more, humanity itself lives off of the debris of gigantic past catastrophes, like the end of the dinosaurs. This is a point he likes to make. So the comet that we're afraid of has already hit the Earth. We are the living proof. The loop is closed. The structure of our fear of the ultimate catastrophe that awaits us in the future is clearly phantasmatic. This catastrophe has already taken place. What we fear is our own eternally past origins. So this is a way to say when we're engaging the apocalypse as fiction, we're actually deflecting the structure of who we are that we get to with Schelling. So the real catastrophe isn't the fear of the end of life. It's the way in which we can't fully let go, the way in which we continue past even our own bodily finitude, the way in which things keep going. That's the structural issue at hand in engaging the apocalypse. So this turns over into enjoyment, the way in which we aren't dissatisfied by enjoyment, but the way in which enjoyment sticks to us too close and we can't get rid of it. That's what the zombie does, which we talked about. The enjoyment of the zombie persists past its bodily life and it keeps going. So here, contra Kant, we aren't dealing with the neuroticism of laying out all the possible conditions of experience in order to avoid this confrontation with what's truly undoing this lamella ground. So the indivisible remainder, here he's quoting Schelling, is the incomprehensible basis for the of reality in things. The indivisible remainder is what can't be resolved in understanding, but remains eternally in the ground of it. So what has to exist for understanding or sense, meaning to exist. Language. But Zizek continues saying that if we just stop here, it fails to bring the duality of reason and ground to the point of self-reference, to our own actual position. So we aren't, stopping short of getting to like the real way things are. We have to get to our own position here. So that's the work of philosophy. He says, what has to fall is the last barrier that separates reason from its irrational ground. The most difficult task, the highest effort of philosophical speculation, is to bring to light the madness of the very gesture of instituting the domain of sense. Every organization of sense, every universal conceptual schema by means of which we endeavor to comprehend reality, is in itself biased, out of balance, crazy, minimally paranoiac, skewed. Its imposition disturbs the natural order of things and throws the universe off balance. So there's no neutral universality, no God's eye point of view. God's eye point of view is, properly speaking, a blind spot in reality. So skipping to the next section, we get him saying, the reading of Lacan as a philosopher of language, emphasizing that the price we pay to gain access to language is that our enjoyment is impossible, we have to throw that out the window. Because, as I said earlier, enjoyment is something that sticks to us despite ourselves. It's not that we can't access our true object of desire and we have to embrace finitude and the limits of life. It's that we can't get rid of it. That structurally, this stuff is what sticks to us. And the conclusion from this to make is we are the one responsible for our own enjoyment. That's traumatic. The way in which we're caught in desire is our responsibility ethically. This idea counters the normal understanding of ethics itself as this call that we can't fully answer to, this charge put on us from the outside that we being imperfect beings can't fully live up to. So it's the exact opposite. We have to transpose the lack onto the big other, or God himself. We have to see God himself as lacking. So analyzing the ground that's necessary for God himself to exist is the project of Schelling. And this translates into Lamella and how we are engaging the structure that's necessary for subjectivity to exist, for the subjectivity that we can observe ourselves through philosophy. So what is necessary for us to be subjects and operate this way? So it's genuinely complicated stuff that touches on kind of everything all at once. But when we're using the word apocalypse in terms of philosophy, what we're getting at is the way in which there's no cover for things. So the lack isn't just our own lack as finite subjects. The lack is in the big other itself, whether that's in a governmental figure that doesn't know what it's properly speaking doing with its all-seeingness, or God himself.